I created this group back in 2006, can't believe it's been that long, with one of my friends her name is Ann Walker. She's a storyboard artist. We went to college together, and we just kind of got together thinking, we both know so many very talented women in the animation industry, and for the most part, the animation industry is kind of a boys' club, and it's historically been that way for a very long time. My grandfather was an animator for Disney way back in the day, like way back in Cinderella, Bambi times. I'm fortunate enough to have some original Bambi art at home. But back in the day when he was an animator for Disney, women were basically only allowed to be ink and paint girls, and that's basically saying that we could color in the artwork of that the male animators drew. But they didn't think that we were classified or talented enough to actually be animators or do the drawings. So things have changed a lot since then. It's still majority of men in the animation industry. And what this group does, it's in no way, dogging the men in the industry. I have a tremendous amount of male friends that I have met in animation who have been phenomenal and great and have been an inspiration to me. But this is a way to just basically showcase the vast amount of talent that we do have in the industry, and also do it in a way where we can also showcase femininity and sexuality from our point of view. Historically, pinup art has been something that men have produced, and it's been kind of a way to have men create images of women that they find sexy, and usually it would be men creating art for other men. What we do here is we kind of take the pinup art and redefine it to put sexuality and femininity into our point of view and give it a voice for ourselves. It could be a controversial thing. I've had people say, we're just objectifying women, but on the contrary, I don't believe that that's true. I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with women having sexuality and expressing it for themselves. And that's part of feminism. We could embrace that, or we could not embrace that. But as long as we have the freedom to do it, that's what's empowering. And if you also look at the art, it's done by a variety of many different artists. And you can see that there's different various body types, there's different subject matters that people find empowering or expressive. It's not just one cookie cutter type of woman that you see every single time. It's not just like, watermelon boobs and, thin waist. It's a bunch of different types of interpretations. So basically what we have decided to do here at this show is kind of give you an example of some of the artwork that we have on display. And if you can kind of look around here, you can see that it's not really your traditional version of a pinup girl. I mean, we've taken images that we think are powerful and we've put them on display. Not just, hey, here's a cheeky little pose, check it out, and, here's an overly sexualized image. It's just images that women have found to be powerful and sexy in their own terms. I brought some books, if you guys want to kind of look around at them. One of them is our first volume, and the other one is our second volume. This is a collective of, go ahead and start that. Of different pieces of art that we have from the group. And also, just a little history of the group as well. When we started this organization, there was only 18 members, and they were mostly Los Angeles, San Francisco based. But since its inception, we have grown to over 200 members from all over the world. And I think that that's really telling that we have we have a member from Egypt. It's crazy. I think that's telling of what a great movement this is, that women from all over the world have this opportunity to not only have their art be seen, but also have an opportunity to be able to tell the story about femininity and sexuality from their own point of view. Especially, it's amazing for women to be able to do that in countries where they might not actually have that opportunity to say that themselves. So we're really giving a voice to people. And I think that that's great. It's kind of something that's a new thing that hasn't really been done before. And I think that that's kind of why it's a little bit scary to some people. I have heard, many different things about like I said before, how people think that we are objectifying women. So I happen to bring some testimonials along with me from some women in the group to kind of just give a piece of their minds as well. I'm the only representative for about 200 women, so I wanted to give some of the other artists, you know, a chance to actually say something. So basically, one quote that I got was from Alice Michi Lee, who did this lovely piece right here. She's from New York City. She said, "I think the very existence of Girls Drawing Girls undermines this idea of objectifying women. Because we are women and we're portraying women with a female gaze, we're infusing the artwork with our personal subjective views about being a woman and our own sexuality in a positive and empowering way. Feminism is about women expressing their freedom. We should protect both the freedom to express our sexuality and to not express our sexuality. You can't have one without the other, because otherwise you're either slut-shaming or prude-shaming." So that came from Alice. That's a little bit about her. And when I was kind of talking to Alice too, she was kind of talking about as well, recently there's been a lot of things in the media about, you know, sexual assault and what women wore or not wore and whether they were asking for it. And that's a mentality that should not be focused on. We should focus on, you know, how about just don't be someone who assaults someone rather than what a woman did or did not wear. And I think that this group also kind of gives women the freedom to express and also love their bodies without being ashamed of it. So basically, I think that that's kind of what we have to say here. I don't think that there's anything wrong with women being sexy. I think that that's great. But if that's the only thing that's there and that's the only thing that we're focusing on, I think that that's providing the negative image. But I think that that's also another good point too, because I think that as we are embracing, you know, sexuality and what we consider beauty in our artwork, but I think also the message behind it too is there's kind of a story behind each thing. It's not just here's a sexy girl in a sexy pose. There's also something behind it. I mean, there's a girl boxer over there. I think that that's really powerful. And this one right here is a warrior. And I mean, even though these ladies here are in kind of, you know, I guess somewhat provocative outfits, they still have a sense of they're confident in who they are.
Yeah, because I've seen Lee Isabel's work on your blog,
Yes.
and I know she's a pole dancer as well.
Yeah.
And I think that gives a story because that's what she enjoys to do, and she puts it into her comics and her illustrations.
Yeah,
which I
exactly.
find fascinating.
And I mean, I wish that she was here to discuss it as well, because she has gotten a lot of heat is just, you know, for being a pole dancer. And I mean, I mean, she's not like a stripper or anything like that. She just likes to also, and if she was, I don't have a problem with that. But I just wanted to clear the record that she does it for like fun. She does all those like aerial, aerial acrobatic kind of stuff, and she's really good at it. And some people have kind of given her grief about that, and she says that it's kind of a way that she uses to feel, you know, sexual and sexy and fun and confident, and she doesn't think that there's anything wrong with it, and I don't think that there is either. And it's a fun, you know, environment that's safe for her to do it, so I say more power to you. So.
As a female artist, I do enjoy seeing other females doing illustration and animation. It's very fascinating to me as a representation, but the fact of female sexuality and female body positivity, expressing that in artwork, fantastical worlds, realistic worlds whatsoever. And even with the unlimited possibilities when it comes to animation and illustration, I think that's really cool how we're able to do that. And the representation of all women, and especially since she has stated that there has been women of different races and gender identity, I think that's really fascinating to put that in the show as well. So there's a lot of representation for the art show, and I think that's what makes it so special. Although it isn't really just the artists, but the art as well, which is really cool. So I like that a lot.
Hello, my name is Melody Severns. I am the president, the founder, and the co-creator of Drawin Girls. I created this with Ann Walker, who's a storyboard artist, back in 2006. It's a way to showcase women who work in the animation, film, television, illustration, comics industry, and we do so through the art of the pinup. And it's also a way to showcase femininity and sexuality from an empowering woman's point of view.